spark plug. I looked on the internet. I couldn't. Well, I found in the parts book. I think it's Champion 28, and so I googled Champion 28 and tried to cross-reference it. I couldn't find it, and then I wound up on Myron's Mopeds webpage, and the part number he said had was a C7 HSA, or you could get a C7R HSA. R is a resistor to reduce noise that you would get interference from the spark plug, which we don't care about. So I went ahead and put a new one in, and I couldn't find the gap that was supposed to be. So I looked up the Honda PC50, which is supposed to be a clone for it, and it says 24 thousandths. And that's exactly what this spark plug was at. And I checked the old one, which looked pretty good too. I mean, really. And it was at 24 thousandths. So, and I believe it was probably a good spark plug. So I'm gonna hang on to it. But it doesn't come with this piece on the end. So and you need it. At least for the spark plug boot I have. So I wound up finding one off of a lawnmower and putting it on there. Now, the other thing, I was looking at the spark plug boot, the original, and I looked inside. Well, and I pushed the spark plug into it, the original one, and it wouldn't make connection. And so I got to look at it, and it's missing something in there. I can't get deep enough in to, it's missing a piece of copper or brass or something. And it's screws on, because that coil wire is a solid copper. Well, it's braided copper, but it's not that like your new spark plug wires that are to keep noise down on your radio. But this one would be considered a solid copper. So again, Myron's Moped have these, and their spark plugs are like $3, reasonable, or his, and then these are like $3 or something like that, real reasonable, $3 or $4. But you gotta pay shipping. And it's this part number, LB05EP. And I was getting ready to order this, and I looked it up, and I could get it at Advanced Auto Parts. They say it's a replacement for a snowmobile. So they ordered it in from the store in the next town over in Lawrence, and it comes with the little waterproof boots to go on the wire, and I suppose this goes down here to waterproof it because it says for snowmobile. So I'll put those on. However, I don't plan on driving it in the snow drifts. And see, this has those screw in, and in here there's a big brass piece, and it snaps nicely. It's got a spring in there nicely onto there. Makes good connection. So I'll just go screw this onto the cable or the coil wire, and this will be good. That seems to be the most logical thing to do. I was thinking about it. Push this down on there. And we'll go put this on. Hey, we're still upside down, just because I haven't turned it any other way. Take that old piece off. Am I focusing in on that? Yeah. keep the water out, and then it's just got a screw. I don't know if we can see, might be too dark, but it's just copper wire, and there's the center is spread out where the other one was, so it should just screw back in there. This is the first one of these I've ever had to change. And there was actually, when I took this off the bike, there was a jet, a carburetor jet crammed down in there. Into the old boot down in there where this is at, and it felt, while I was shaking around looking in there, because the plug wouldn't stick, and it was just a carburetor jet. So it was an attempt to replace the missing piece that couldn't be found, and it was a good try for sure, and it may have worked, I don't know, but okay. It's tight, so now okay. So now we should be good, I hope, if we've got spark. A lot of other things have to come in line to make us have spark yet. And we don't even have the engine in there to check. So I suppose there's a smarter way to do this than what I'm going to do, but it's already upside down. There's a yellow wire on the engine, and a green wire, and a blue one. The blue one goes in there, yellow and green right there. Probably a smart way would be to set this on the floor, plug these wires in, and then lift the engine up, shove the bolts through. But I don't know, I may just hold it, plug the wires in, set it down, get this out of the way where it needs to be, and then plug my bolts through. So keep this underneath my bolts. I'll go grab it and we'll see what we can do. I suppose I'll put my bolts on the floor. pedal cranks go on now, I suppose, and they are marked. I saw one of them had a mark on it the other day. Yeah, there's an R. So this one goes on the right side, which is over there because it's upside down. So that means this one has to go on the left side, since that would make sense. And they're held on with what they call cotters. These are on like old Raleigh bicycles from the 60s and 70s as well. I suppose other stuff. But it's just basically a very soft metal pin. It's got a wedge on it. So I'm just going to line it up with that slot with the hole. And then put the flat side towards the flat side on that shaft. And it should have a washer. And it doesn't. Flat washers are on the other side, and it's snug. Let's see. And I'm going to tap it. And tighten it up until it's snug. Again. And then I'm going to call that good. Get this thing over here. Okay. We are good. Here's the carburetor intake. And I'm starting to think maybe it's on backwards. It should probably spin around. And it did remember to put oil in it. I put in 30 weight heavy duty motor oil. It was about in the quart mark left, I think, and now it's down to about there. So I'm guessing probably a little over 3/4 of a quart is what it took to fill it. So that's good. I'm glad I didn't forget that now. I'm going to spin that intake manifold around. The intake manifold is spun around like it should be. I gave it a squirt of starting fluid. So let's see if we have spark. As a runner. Alright. Okay, this is my tank now that it's right side up. And I did run some mineral spirits through it. And first I blew it out with the air hose. Took the fuel cap off and blew a lot of air through it both ways, down and up. And a lot of dusty rust came out. And I did that until it quit. Then I run some mineral spirits in there and out, and it didn't come out all rusty, so I'm going to call it clean enough. I'll just get a filter on it, and we should be good. But now I need to put my valve on, the one that we worked so hard on. Now hopefully we can put it on and it won't leak. The size of the nut is 15/16. And then I'm going to use this Moto Seal gasket maker to put on the threads on both pieces, down here and then on this as well, on the valve. So I don't want it to leak. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to put this So the pointy thing is up, and we'll call that where we're going to start. So I'm going to back this out. Right now it's threaded most of the way in, or partly in. I'm going to back this out a little bit. Well, I'm going to take it all the way off. Left-handed. Start this about, I don't know, maybe not much, and I'm scared I'm going to break this, but I guess it's got to be tight enough that it holds. And this is what I was doing last time and broke it before. Want to be able to rotate this without it moving the valve. And there, it kind of still wants to move it a little. That's why that pop metal breaks. And I think I need to let it spin down a little bit. So the sediment bulb is stripped down. Makes me nervous.